Hey, what's going on? It's Jared. Today we're going to go over how to complete a price trend analysis, also known as a PTA, how we're going to go on Matrix and get our comps, and it's going to be a two-part series. So let's get right into it. I am going to show you a quick preview of the new PTA that we have. It's a really cool Excel sheet. So when you go here, you have all these tabs on the bottom here. So it says property and comps. Your information, you're going to put the subject property in, the street address, the town, the state. You're going to put the date that you complete it or the date that you're going to be meeting with your client. And prepared by, that's where you're going to put your information. So all this pink has instructions. I definitely suggest you read this. You're also going to put some market information. So depending on the zip code, you might choose all the active houses in that zip code, or you might do a price range. But just for the sake of getting started, we're going to go ahead and just put a total of the zip code. We're going to go ahead and look at what went under contract in that same zip code over the last 30 days. We're going to plug that in. We're going to look at average days on market for those pending sales, and it's going to automatically calculate the market absorption rate. So ideally, we're going to find approximately 3 properties that have been sold within 6 to 12 months of today's date. Then we're going to find 3 properties or so that have sold from 0 to 6 months. And then we're going to find pending sales. So we're going to choose all pending sales. In a perfect world, it's going to be the past 30 days. But based on the availability of the comps you could find, you're going to choose all pending sales. Now, as we go down, you have a customer deliverable, and this is going to be the completed version. So all the information we put is going to input into this. It's a really user-friendly, clean-looking flyer that you're going to show, and it's called the price trend analysis, and it's going to definitely differentiate yourself from the rest of the competition. You're going to look different. So if 3 or 4 agents go on a listing appointment to one particular seller, and a lot of them are going to come with the same stuff. Maybe it's an RPR report, maybe it's a CMA that is done on the MLS. This is exclusive to Weichert. So this is something that the other sellers, the other agents are not going to bring to their seller. And it just adds to the value and adds to how we do things different and we do things better. So that said, let's go into Matrix. All right, so we're in Matrix. We're going to go ahead and search. We're going to go to residential. And remember, we need homes that are sold within 12 months, homes that are sold within 6 months, and active houses. So let's say we have, and I already went to this house theoretically, and it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath Cape in Farmingdale. It's in really good condition, not brand new, but really good condition, on a typical 60 by 100 lot. So as I'm searching, we're in a market where there's not a whole lot of transactions. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to search active. I'm sorry, we're going to want to search pending. And I always like to start with pending first. It tells a picture of the most recent market. All right. So we're going to choose pending and we're going to choose the post office / town that we're looking. So in this case, it's Farmingdale. So if you look here under the results, it's 45 matches. Now, I might choose to narrow it down and put some more criteria, but I might also choose to look at the whole thing. So I'm going to hit results. And I have a few things I could do. What I might do first is go ahead and pull a map, and I might find where my subject property is. Maybe it's in South Farmingdale. So now all of a sudden I'm going to hone in and put more value in potentially this section of Farmingdale. And as I scroll over, I could click and see a property. So look, this is a Cape. So my early research might be very, very vague. Here's a Cape. So I might choose kind of just anything in the vicinity. I might choose to go ahead and select, and I'll take a look at it later. All right, so this is one way to do it. Whoops. Another way is to just click on these MLS numbers and literally just scroll. Next, next, next. And we keep going. And we're going to look for similar kind of houses. So here's a Cape, another Cape, which we saw, another Cape. Now I might look at the photos, right? You can look at the photos. So we're going to keep scrolling, and we're going to learn what's going on in this market. Might scroll, look at the photos. Is this a similar house to mine? No, mine's a little nicer, right? Okay. Might like this one. Gonna go ahead and click it. So as we do this, we're learning what's going on. Now, there is some situations where you may have a hunch. You might think the house is worth, and you might have a little bit of range in your head, maybe 650 to 700. You're still going to want to explore things that are above and below it, and that way you can really hone in on where you think this property should be listed at. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit agent single line. I could go ahead and hit refine, and we're going to go ahead and hit narrow. Bam. So I have 5 houses that I want to explore further. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on them. And now I'm going to get the details. I might read the remarks. I'm definitely going to look at the photos, right? I can expand the photos and say, all right, this is a nice house, right? This might be a little nicer than the house that I am trying to comp out. It's got a brand new kitchen, looks fully renovated, and this is listed as $799. So I might say this is not a good comp. I go to next. Look at the photos. Now this looks similar, very similar to the house that I'm trying to comp out. Very similar. So I might put some weight on this. So this is listed for $699. I like this one. This is gonna be a compliment. We got this one. Scrolling, make it larger. All right, so this looks very similar as well. $699. So it's starting to tell a little story here. All right, let's look at this one. Looks clean. This is a reno. Similar square feet. I might still try to include it. And then this one I'm thinking is a little tired. And I'm thinking maybe it's not going to be a good comp that I'm going to use. But now all of a sudden I realize I found one that was much nicer, fully renovated, that was a little higher in price than I thought. And then I just found one that's lower, 625. So now all of a sudden, and go to agent single line. I omitted 2 of these, the high end and the low end. And now I'm in a range of 680 to 700. So I'm starting to get a little bit of a picture on where I think this house should be marketed. So now I can print these out, or I can go ahead and put them in a cart. So I'm gonna do a new cart. I'm gonna name it. Let's just say the property is 123 Maple. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. So now I'm gonna add to 123 Maple. Bam. So now I have 3 comps in my cart that is pending. So now I'm going to go ahead and go back to actions. I'm going to go ahead and go to criteria. And now instead of pending, I am going to choose sold. And I want 0 to 180. So by default, that already happened. I'm going to do a 6-month look back. I'm going to hit results. I have 117 results. So what I could do now, I'm starting to hone in on a price, right? So now I could sort this by price. I could view all. And I think at this point, I know we're somewhere in the range of 600 to 700,000. So I might scroll, and I might start, over here at like 615. All right. And I'm going to look to find similar houses. Keep going. Now, obviously, I'm going to spend a little more time on this and not be as quick, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to pick a few others. All right. All right, so we're just playing around, but obviously I would spend more time really honing in on bedrooms, bathrooms, location, looking on a map, and picking 3 or 4 that I think are very, very similar. I'm going to look at things that are slightly below to see where that threshold is. I'm going to look at price points that I think are higher and to see if there's a difference in the type of house. If we're starting to see in the higher prices a much cleaner house, maybe more renovated, maybe a bigger square feet, maybe, different things that are not like my comparables. Now, all of a sudden, I'm at that point where I have to come back down and find homes that are slightly less, and it's telling me a story. So it's important to kind of look, like I said, slightly below where you're starting to pinpoint and slightly above to really figure out where that threshold is. So those we're going to put into our cart, and now we have those. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to actions. We're going to go to criteria, and we're going to go ahead and look 12 months back. So we're going to go 180 to 360. Okay. We have 109 matches. And again, just for the sake of time, bet you that's a cape. Let's see. Yep. All right. So we got one cape, two capes. So again, we're going to spend a lot more time than I just did, but just for the sake of time, we're going to do that. All right. So we're going to refine. We're going to narrow, and we're going to carts. We're going to add this to our cart. So now we have all the information we need to put the comps in. We need two other, or actually three other pieces of information. So we're going to go ahead and go to actions, criteria. And now I want to know everything that's active in Farmingdale. So 16 matches. So that's the information I put in the price trend analysis where it's active houses. So I'll go ahead and just write that down, 16 homes. Now we're going to go to pending, and I want to do a 30-day look back. So I'm going to go 0 to 30. And we're going to go ahead and see we have 13 matches. So on the PTA, it's going to X active within 30 days. You're going to put in 13. And we're going to want to know how many days of market these homes are. So we're going to click on all of them. We're going to go ahead and click on stats, tabular. And now if you see average, we scroll all the way over 39 days. So the average days on market for those homes at 39 days. So we're going to put that information in as well. All right. So now we have all the information we need to complete our price trend analysis. And we're going to go to part 2 on how to do that.